Play in the NHL, it's probably the dream of every young player since they're young.
Well, it's very, very tough on the family life. I mean, my wife is left with the responsibility of taking care of the kids while I'm on the road, and that's difficult.
It's been a dream, you pretend you're Guy Lafleur or Daryl Sittler or something, and we had an unfinished basement at home, so I'd be down there shooting pucks on the net and playing road hockey with the guys.
Cornwall, Ontario, almost 12 hours before game time. Equipment manager Rob McLean has plenty to do. Practice is 2 hours away, and there are about 15 pairs of skates to sharpen.
I have a degree from the University of New Brunswick in sports science, but most of everything I used in the job really was learned on the job, just from other trainers or other people in related fields. I know that on a game day I do them at a certain time. Guys like Patrick Augusta, Guy Lehou, I'll do theirs before the morning skate every game day. But Yannick Perreault, you don't do his till just before the game.
Some of the players are here early too. They're the Leafs walking wounded, the players with injuries, and it's Nick Addy-Gibbs' responsibility to get them ready for tonight's game.
The athletic therapist now is able to do most of the treatment in-house, which I think is good because you get a sort of it's a personal touch. You're not always going to a different person. You're always seeing the same guy, and you know his progress, and he knows his progress and what's expected of him.
The player on the couch hasn't been in a game all season. His name is Terry Chitteroni.
Well, he's got a couple of different problems. Mostly is there's discs at a couple of levels that are protruding and putting pressure on other structures that give him pain into the back, and because of that there's a lot of tightness in the back and hip muscles, and weakness in the lower back doesn't support it, so we have to work on several different things at the same time. We have to loosen him up and get him stronger and keep the pain and inflammation down all at the same time, so it's sort of a tough battle right now.
It's just it's the fact that I'm injured, and I got to work hard to get back, and that's the only thing I can do right now is wait.
There are others playing the waiting game. Yannick Perreault is waiting for another shot at the NHL. A month ago, Toronto called him up. His big chance, he thought, but a week ago he was demoted.
I think when you're there, it's a lot better. I think the rink are bigger, more fans at the game. You get more money to play. You play with better players. It's all different, and my goal is to be there very soon.
It's every player's goal to be called up, and one of them is about to get that chance. Down the hall, coach Marc Crawford is on the phone. The parent club in Toronto has injury problems, and they need a player for tonight's game at Maple Leaf Gardens.
You know the two different styles, it's whoever you want. Well, yeah, they both played well right now. It's a real toss-up. They're different styles. The one guy's the scorer that gives you a little bit more finesse. The other guy gives you a little bit more hustle, and he's been scoring really well. So they're both scoring. Okay, you're going to call back in a half an hour? All right, bye. He's just going to call back in a half an hour.
Any idea who it is?
Well, we know it's one of two players. So right now they go down in their office and decide which player it's going to be.
Yeah.
They know the players as well as we do, so they know what the strengths are, and they just go and decide which guy's going to fit in their lineup right away.
A half hour later, the decision is made. Just minutes before practice, centerman Guy LaRose is called out of the room. While LaRose gets the good news, Mark Hillier is back on the phone. It's his job to take care of problems like this. He has to get LaRose to Montreal and then on the first available flight to Toronto.
Okay, good. Thank you. Bye. He's leaving at 1 o'clock and he'll be in Toronto at 2:10. And they don't know if he'll be in the lineup tonight or not.
Back in the dressing room, LaRose has a problem. His shoes. One of his teammates put them in the Gatorade bucket.
Got them back, but they're quite wet, and I don't think I need a shine on them. So He saved me a few bucks, but don't worry, I'll get him back.
He isn't sure who the culprit is, but he has two strong suspects. One teammate gets his boots filled with Gatorade. Another has the toes cut out of his socks. With his teammates paid back, LaRose is on his way.
Okay, good luck. Thanks, Mark.
See you, Rosie.
Sorry, guys, for take care of the fort. All right, see you.
LaRose won't be returning. A few weeks later, he's picked up on waivers by the Calgary Flames. While LaRose heads for Montreal, his teammates are on the ice. This is a light practice, 45 minutes, and then they break for lunch.
That's how good. I was going to use that tonight.
No, you're not.
Okay, 4 times.
2 hours later, the dining room at the Days Inn.
What kind of requests do they make for food?
Well, they're pretty explicit. We usually get fax before the game, a couple days before they check into the hotel. Each team is at their own discretion. They may choose a team meal, or they may choose to just eat arbitrarily and come into the restaurant.
Are they very fussy about what kind of food they eat?
Yeah, they are. They've got to get their carbos, and they eat. There's a predetermined time, 4 hours before their game time. They'll do things like spaghetti, roasted potatoes without any spices. Definitely some vanilla ice cream or something to get some sugar into their system.
It may be lunchtime, but there's always time for a prank. This time at the expense of our cameraman, Sterling Snow, who's about to get his shoe decorated with salad dressing.
One way or the other.
After lunch, the players head for their rooms for a little rest. Roommates rotate, and on this trip, Todd Gillingham is with Terry Chitteroni.
In the afternoons, mostly like before a game, the guys will just sleep and stuff like that. You know, probably, but there's about 4 or 5 guys that don't sleep. I usually hardly never sleep, and Chitter, that's probably why we were rooming together. I was with Alexei Kudashov at first, but Yannick likes to sleep a lot in the afternoons, and so does he, so they put me in with Chit. He's not playing, so it doesn't matter whether he sleeps or not.
What do you carry with you on the road? I guess you got to travel light.
Well, if you want to, you can really get a look here. What we got, we probably got about 2 pairs of jeans. Your changes, underwear, and that, and then we probably bring just about 2 suits for a 2-week trip. If we play 5 games, you try and squeeze as many days out of the suits as you can get. Hopefully, a week of suits pretty good. So. We don't want to bring too much where we're traveling and that all the time, so as the least amount as possible. See here, Cherry's just a fashion statement,
Yeah. I think I can do it.
He's got lovely Payless shoes on. 2-for-1s with his Kmart mock turtleneck.
Look at this ugly tie. Would your grandma buy that for you?
Come on, let's keep going.
About 2 hours later, Gillingham and Chitteroni are on the ice for the pre-game warm-up. Gillingham will play tonight, but his roommate will sit out again. Once the game starts, Chitteroni is relegated to his usual spot, the sidelines. Out on the ice, things start badly. The Cornwall Aces take the early lead. It's 2-0 after the first period. The Leafs find themselves behind 3-2 late in the game. They press, but they can't score on Aces goalie Garth Snow. It's the Leafs' second loss in a row. After the game, the players gather at a local watering hole. They'll have a light snack, a couple of beers, and head for bed. 8:30 the next morning, time to hit the road. The Leafs head south, leaving Cornwall and last night's loss behind.
You got a water bottle with you, Rowdy?
Within half an hour, the bus is at the U.S. border.
Check.
Right.
A customs officer checks the passports of the Leafs' 2 European players, Czech Patrick Augusta and Russian Alexei Kudashov.
Okay, he's good there, sir.
Thank you.
And April 15th, okay. Tovarish. Okay, Larry.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're all set.
Probably stupid.
There's a pecking order on the bus. Coaches in the front, then the rookies, followed by second and third-year players. Captains Ken McRae and Curtis Hunt get the best spots at the back of the bus. It's a 5-hour drive to Albany, New York. We pull into the parking lot at the Knickerbocker Arena at about 1 o'clock. There's no game tonight, but there is practice. And on this team, even the biggest star has to carry his own gear into the rink. They'll practice for an hour and take the rest of the day off. The next morning, game day. Albany's city center comes alive. The Leafs are off to work too. We walk to the rink with Curtis Hunt. He's 26, a 6-year veteran of minor pro hockey. The Leafs are his 5th organization.
What keeps you going? You know, what keeps you coming back here season after season?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, and like I said, the dream. You know, and as soon as you think you can't play in the NHL, I believe you should hang them up and pursue something else.
Yeah. What do you have, what's plan B for you, Curtis? I mean, when hockey's over, have you given that much thought?
I'm going to win a lottery and have a nice little ranch in the mountains somewhere. Isn't that what everyone wants? I don't know. I think school.
Yeah.
Go back to school. My wife's a nurse, so, you know, I don't know where we're going to settle. With today's economy, you pretty much have to go where the work is. It's not like you could pick and choose where you want to live in the country.
What does she think of this life, this nomadic existence?
I think it drives her nuts personally, but she's pretty good about it.
Hunt is playing with a bad back, but this morning there's no athletic therapist to tend to him. Nick Addy-Gibb has been called back to St. John's. His wife is sick, so Hunt is left to the tender mercies of teammate Chris Snell.
On the angle though, huh? Kitty corner, whatever they call it.
Kitty in the corner?
Yeah.
So how?
Like checkers, like a checkerboard.
Yeah, so there's a red here and a red here, gray, gray.
Yeah, that's it, right there. Go just a touch lower. Don't show any cleavage down there.
Out on the ice, Marc Crawford runs a spirited practice. He's hoping the losing streak will end tonight.
The whole thing with our attitude is we try to play a team game. We try to make sure that everybody's responsible for the wins or the losses. Everybody doesn't get too high with the wins and too low with the losses.
Right there.
Tonight, the Leafs play the Albany River Rats. With a day's rest, St. John's comes out flying. There's a goal from Patrick Augusta in the first period. Yannick Perreault gets one 8 seconds into the second period. And then the Leafs Russian, Alexei Kudashov, makes it 3-1 St. John's. The River Rats and the Maple Leafs are the league's two most penalized teams, so things are bound to get rough. They do. Curtis Hunt is challenged by Rats rookie Jason Smith. Hunt is sent to the dressing room. He's out of the game.
So what do? You hit his helmet?
I think so. He had his head turned. He was turning away.
Yeah.
I was just trying to throw quick ones. Usually
Yeah.
I like to throw the haymaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's his thumb. The thumb that makes me nervous.
Yeah. So you get pumped up, eh? The adrenaline flows when you're into that kind of situation?
Yeah.
Hunt's ejection means the club is short-handed on defense, but it doesn't seem to matter. Patrick Augusta scores his second of the night. The Leafs win 5-3. The losing streak is over.
Big difference. That's like somebody died. A tire.
You pull, I push.
Don't run over anybody in the process.
Oh, why not? Come on. For this job.
Half an hour after the game ends, the Leafs are on the road. Destination, Hamilton, where they'll play in less than 24 hours.
There's gourmet dining right here. Doesn't get any better than this.
I'll just follow the signs, eh?
While the rest of the guys tuck into supper, the bus driver gets directions from who else but Curtis Hunt.
Billy, what?
You know you're a career minor leaguer when you know every bloody city in the bloody league.
Right.
Ice packs are handed out with the lasagna. There are sore ankles, sore knees, even sore necks. Some choose to watch the movie, Wayne's World. In the back of the bus, the card game starts up again. In 6 hours, the Leafs will be in Hamilton. Another day, another city, another hockey game.
Those changes were made, weren't they?
Yeah, those are the, this is the revised list.
Saturday, December 4th, 4:15 in the morning. After a 6-hour bus ride, the St. John's Maple Leafs check into the Sheraton in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Next door at Copps Coliseum, the day's work starts for equipment manager Rob McLean. He'll get a little help from the bus driver, but for the most part, he's on his own.
Try to give the better stalls to the guys with a little more experience.
20 bags of smelly hockey equipment, still soaking wet from last night's game in Albany.
Rookies are pretty much always stuck in the corner.
4:45 in the morning. You ever wonder why you do this job?
Summers are off. That's perfect. It's not that bad. This is the aspect, I mean, that you don't like because of the lack of sleep, and you become pretty prone to getting colds and stuff like that. You try to make up for it at other times.
He'll be doing this until 6 or 7. Then he'll turn in for a few hours sleep.
These guys are my friends. I mean, you do stuff for them anyhow. So it's not really the money you're not really working because of that. I'm still part of the game, which, I grew up playing. So, I don't know. What else would I be doing, I guess?
Early afternoon, a drizzle falls on Copps Coliseum. While his players nap, Coach Marc Crawford ponders hockey strategy. He'll spend a couple of hours looking at the tapes of last night's game.
It's interesting stuff, isn't it?
Is this fuel for your pregame talk tonight? Or you?
Well, you try not to speak too much about last night's game, other than if you really want to change something, the way you played. Oftentimes you're looking for just things that your team's doing well and things that your team isn't doing well. We do.
Crawford is 32, considered one of pro hockey's brightest young coaches. He's a hot commodity. Last summer, he came close to getting the head coaching job with the NHL's Anaheim Mighty Ducks. He didn't, so for one more season at least, he's in the minors, learning his craft and teaching the basics to those who'll be the future of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
They have to learn how to play without the puck. Most of them are the best players coming from their junior team, so they're used to playing with the puck all the time, and they've never really had to concentrate on it. And here they have to concentrate on it a great deal if they want to make the next step up.
Trying to stay away from
A couple of hours later, we find Crawford in the hallway at Copps Coliseum. He discusses a line change with Rich Chernamaz. Chernamaz is a 30-year-old career minor leaguer. He's also the club's assistant coach.
I'll put Walby up with you guys. I think that basically right now it's just that Kenny's got nobody to play with. And he's basically trying to do a bunch of stuff by himself. So if we give him a little bit more experience in a game like this, where they are a big club and they are a physical club, it might not be a bad idea.
With line combinations set, Crawford gives his talk to the players.
Okay, this team's been on a fairly significant roll lately. They've won 5 in a row. Okay, I think the things that we have to be aware of on this team are the defensemen that can rush the puck. Okay, Nemesnikov, Von Stefanelli, Walker, and Ratushny, they're going to be trying to join the rush with these guys throughout the evening, so let's be aware of that, especially our left wingers on their right defensemen. You've got to be aware, all 3 of them come up the ice, all 3 of them got good speed, and all 3 of them are fairly offensive players. These guys are ready for us. Everybody looks at us and they say, hey, first place club, the fact that we're the Maple Leafs makes a little bit of a difference as well. They want to play well against us, especially if they're going to have a lot of Toronto Maple Leaf fans here tonight. Let's make sure that we challenge ourselves to just do whatever we can to make sure we put our best foot forward and try and win this game. Okay, here we go, gang. Alex, your line coming here. Alex, line. One guy. Come on, Matty. Matty, Jesus Christ, first shift, come on.
Crawford's hockey team starts slowly. The Leafs are the better team, but you wouldn't know it in the first period.
Change it. Kenny, you don't fucking chase there. And all that trouble because you're chasing. That's the defenseman's chase.
I'm a very excitable guy. I think that I've got to work constantly to keep my emotions in check, so that my emotions don't get the better of me. And we tell that to the players too as well. Know yourself and know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and just be careful for any characteristics that might hinder your performance.
Quick first pass, get off your backhand.
Crawford is part psychologist, part taskmaster, and part teacher, trying to wring the best from a team that for a period at least doesn't seem to respond. They trail 2-1 after 20 minutes.
Offside winger, offside forward, left.
But it gets better in the second period. Yannick Perreault scores his second of the game. Then he gets his third. The Leafs are on a roll, and Crawford's mood begins to change.
How to stand him up, Holsey, how to stand him up there.
After 2 periods, St. John's has a comfortable 5-3 lead.
Believe in the system, boys. We're going to get a lot more offensive chances if we play the same way. A lot more offensive chances if we play the same way. One guy pressure the puck, take away the middle, and look for the late attackers when they've got the puck. Let's go here. Come on, gang. Let's go now.
Come on, Blue. Come on, Blue. Come on, Blue, man. Come on, boys. Good job.
Come on, let's break their backs here. Break their backs here. Come on, fellas.
After a slow start, the team has responded well. A 6-4 win.
In your mind, what would be a perfectly played hockey game?
Well, I think you got to start with the first thing is a win. I don't think you're ever going to have a flawless game, but if you try to play it in a certain way and you do it for the most part and you have success, then I think that's probably as close to being perfect as you're going to get. And we did it close to that tonight.
It'll be another quick exit. Tonight, they bus 4 hours to Rochester, where they'll play tomorrow afternoon.
That'll be the toughest game, the third game in 3 nights. We've got one benefit in that they'll be playing in their third game in 3 nights as well. So we'll try to get in there in a hurry and see if we can get some rest and go right back at them. That's the grind. This is what they're talking about. Get all the ice bags on everybody, and everybody's a little mentally tired, but you just got to put your best foot forward.
Sunday afternoon. Fans begin to file into the War Memorial Auditorium in Rochester, New York. This is one of the league's oldest and most unusual rinks.
Come on, Hunter. Go first, load up.
For the visiting team, hitting the ice means having to take an elevator first.
Yeah. What do we got here? Emergency on or what?
Yeah.
No. Send it right back down.
This is going out the first floor. That's what it's supposed to do.
Coming down.
Must be. We're in the basement.
Going
up?
The M is halfway.
But that's the only lift the Leafs get. They fall behind, and then the game begins to degenerate. It's a boring first period, marred by an endless series of shoving matches.
Back to the Leafs is Dan Stiver. Leafs on a power play, trailing 3-0 here early in the second period.
High above center ice, George McLaren calls another game. He travels everywhere with the team, calling the play-by-play for the fans back home in St. John's.
Glorious scoring opportunity missed for the Leafs there.
You love the game. You got to love the game. That's the bottom line. They're a pretty good bunch of guys.
Here's Perreault, and over the line makes a nice move. Perreault in goal, a shot, he scores! What a beautiful effort by Yannick Perreault.
The Leafs have played 4 games in 5 days. They try to come back, but they just don't have it.
Just trying to pass it around, it goes to Todd Simon. Another penalty coming up to the Leafs. Simon, a shot, he scores!
And it gets worse. Marc Crawford says something to the referee. His road trip ends early.
Crawford's been thrown out of the game.
In the third period, St. John's makes it close.
Here's Snell working into the slot. Snell cruising in to Chernomaz's shot. The rebound, he scores! Rich Chernomaz! And it's a 4-3 hockey game.
But that's as close as it gets. The road trip ends with a 4-3 loss. The club will bus back to Toronto, fly back to St. John's in the morning.
Do you sometimes find that you feel bad when they lose and you feel good when they win? I mean, you know, do you get into it like that?
I don't feel bad for them today as they blew that one tonight. They gave it away in the first 4 minutes. Yeah, when they play hard and they lose it tough, and yeah, you feel bad for them.
The next day, St. John's Airport. The Leafs are back. George McLaren waits for his baggage.
There's Dad. Look.
Marc Crawford is reunited with his wife Helene and their 2 children.
What did that show you?
Girl, she wants to go on you.
Okay, let's go get my bags, okay? There's lots of stuff here for you guys.
Yesterday's loss is ancient history. Right now, it's just good to be home. For Here and Now, I'm Jonathan Crowe.